Coming up on Focal Point. The verdict is in.
I think what the FBI did is unconscionable, is what I think. And I think the jury just sent them a message loud and clear that these tactics are not going to be, we're not going to condone what they've done here.
As a war rages in Ukraine, friends in East Lansing wonder if it will ever end.
I did not expect that it would go this far.
Opening day is here and the Lansing Lugnuts are ready to welcome fans, rain or shine. I have more on this story coming up on Focal Point.
450 complaints were made just last March about the potholes in Lansing. How can this problem be fixed? More on the story coming up on Focal Point.
Focal Point starts now.
Good evening, I'm Nyla Hollins.
And I'm Bria Crawford. Welcome to Focal Point. We begin tonight with breaking news. The verdict is not guilty. It comes after a 20-day trial and almost 40 hours of jury deliberations in the Governor Whitmer kidnap plot trial. Around 2 o'clock, the jury found two accused plotters, Daniel Harris and Brandon Caserta, not guilty on conspiracy to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The two were freed this afternoon after nearly 2 years behind bars. Chief U.S. District Robert Jonker declared a mistrial on kidnapping conspiracy charges against accused ringleaders Adam Fox and Barry Croft. The governor's office expressed disappointment in today's verdict.
But work continues in the governor's office. She is taking action to protect women's reproductive rights. With uncertainty in the U.S. Supreme Court Roe v. Wade and days after Oklahoma outlawed abortions, Governor Whitmer is using her executive authority to file a lawsuit with the Michigan Supreme Court. Abortion was outlawed in Michigan in 1931, and the Roe v. Wade case is the only thing ensuring women in the state can still have access.
Somebody needs to take action, so it's a good thing that she's filing a lawsuit because it's not okay for them to try and take away our abortion rights.
Women in the state and around the country will be anxiously awaiting the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in the coming weeks.
War doesn't have to separate a friendship. Two East Lansing residents proved that conflict overseas can't break their bond at home. Maisha Johnson has their story.
The destruction and hardship of war. We are watching it daily, while Ukrainians wonder why their neighbor is invading their homeland. Victor Chernetsky,
originally from Ukraine,
and Nick Ivanov have personal ties to this war.
I was actually born in Soviet Union.
Nick and Victor are living the war, but they're doing it here in East Lansing. They're neighbors on Michigan State's campus and they're friends.
I met Nick because our kids go in the same school.
They get along and wish their countries could too.
Several questions that a lot of people ask, and myself included, it's why?
I did not expect that it would go this far.
But nobody could imagine that they will have full-scale war and war targeting civil people.
They worry about what will happen to the people back home.
Probably until Putin is at power, Ukraine is in danger, Ukrainian people are in danger.
Nick knows why Russians are fearful of speaking up.
People started going outside with messages like this, written in Russian. They were captured by police and detained. Then people started going with just asterisks for no to the war. They were captured, detained. And this is my personal favorite. They were captured
And Victor says business leaders need to speak up too.
It's not just we support people who struggle. We condemn Russian aggression in Ukraine.
In East Lansing, I'm Maisha Johnson, Focal Point News.
Like people around the world, Nick and Victor hope this war will end soon. It began on February 24th and now is approaching its second month.
It became legal to sell marijuana recreationally in Michigan in 2019. The economic impact of legal recreational use are still being discovered. Some might surprise you. Focal Point's Aaron Bowling has the story.
Open up in Canada. How you doing? Cheapest weed in Lansing. That's still unverified. But there's one thing that's for certain about the cost of recreational weed.
It is pretty taxed.
Ed has worked in the cannabis industry,
That's actually what makes it cost so much is the tax.
not as a bartender, but
I'm a bud tender. In May of this year, it'll be a year for me.
and he knows just how popular the plant has been.
From doctors to people who work at McDonald's, like
21 plus, ordering that med card. Yep.
Almost like another popular substance.
it's kind of like going to like a liquor store.
Unlike liquor stores, local dispensaries like Pinkana are new.
So now they got to figure out what they want to do with the tax money.
An East Lansing city manager is ready for the money to come in.
My role is to make a recommendation on the budget.
And his recommendation includes a specialty plan to send the money to specialty courts.
We have a veterans treatment court, a sobriety court, and a drug court.
You may have gone to jail for recreational use in the past, but times have changed.
And it's a way to get people, really try to treat people differently than just incarcerating people or having straight punishment for drug-related crimes, but really to have a treatment approach and to hopefully get them back productively into society and better.
A step to the future,
Very progressive.
financed by dispensaries.
I believe this year we received in the range of $160,000.
It may sound like a lot, but
They can be understaffed or underfunded.
and it's all for a good cause.
Which is trying to get people out of the criminal justice system, which helps society in the long run because people aren't sitting in jail. They're hopefully recovered and back in society productively.
In East Lansing, I'm Erin Bowling, Focal Point News.
East Lansing currently has 4 dispensaries opening, up and running, but the city plans to include 2 more.
Who among us haven't had the brain-rattling, kidney-jarring gut punch when our cars disappear in a giant pothole? It seems we're seeing and trying to avoid more potholes every day. Elena Rabin swerved through some of them today and brings us this springtime phenomenon.
They'll see you before you see them. We're talking about potholes.
The pothole that I hit earlier was not a pothole, it was a crater.
And they're appearing all over Lansing.
But yeah, I thought the car was gonna go out on that one. You know, there's a little swerve.
When cars dodge one, they hit another.
I think for the most part, the roads themselves weren't constructed as well as they could have been to begin with.
Lansing recorded nearly 500 pothole complaints just in the month of March. The manager of Affordable Tire, Jared Shaw, says it happens every year. Their business goes up as we all start hitting those holes.
Yeah, we've seen an increase over the last few years anyways, as far as that's concerned, with the roads decaying the way they do. But
He thinks the pothole repairs are more like a Band-Aid.
they go through in quick fix, and I do believe our city doesn't have the kind of funding necessary, or if it does, they're not bothering to actually use it the way they should.
You can see the potholes line up the street. Some, including this one I'm standing right by, are up to 3 inches deep. So what needs to be done here in Lansing to fix this problem? A hard enough hit could be costly.
I think a lot of people are losing a lot of money on their cars. It's tearing us up.
With so many potholes, some think the only real solution is now to repave entire roads.
They are going through and trying to work on our main streets. With any luck here, we'll be looking at the better end of it. So.
In Lansing, Michigan, I'm Elena Rabin, Focal Point News.
The city of Lansing says they will fix most potholes within 48 hours of an initial report.
A bakery and coffee business on Grand River is expanding. Koala Bakery and Cafe is celebrating its new store on Mack Avenue. Koala Tea and Coffee had a soft opening last month. A grand opening ceremony is set for April 21st. Bubble tea, pastries, and various other unique dishes are just some of the offerings that Koala Bakery features. The owner is excited to open another business in mid-Michigan.
I love East Lansing. I live in here 12 years now, and my parents retired, moved to Texas, but I still decided living here.
Chang said there are future plans for a third store to open near the Frandor shopping area.
From coffee and tea to chicken, one of Lansing's most recognized chicken businesses is opening a brand new home. Grand Grillin', home of the Vicky Chicken, will be located at Harrison Crossings Plaza. The chic chicken spot was an old 7-Eleven. The owner plans to add an outdoor seating area and a walk-up serving window. Grand Grillin' has been seen on the Food Network. Their mobile food cart is at Spartan Stadium during football games.
hopefully it's going to be a destination where people want to come, they want to feel really at home and like it's a nice, pleasant place. Let's get together, a great meeting place.
Grand Grillin', home of the Vicky Chicken, plans to open their first location next month. Coming up on Focal Point, Spartan Stadium is being used for something other than football.
And don't go nuts, but this next story will knock you out of the park.
And you're looking at a live shot of downtown Lansing. It has been raining for most of the day, but will we need our raincoats for the weekend? Focal Point's Elena Rabin will have our latest forecast after the break.
Alcoholism is a disease, and it can affect everyone around you, even the people you love. April is Alcohol Awareness Month, and it's important to remember how to have a good time while having a safe time. Know the signs of alcohol poisoning and what to do if you spot them. Slow breathing, vomiting, or seizures. If someone you're with is showing any of these signs, don't hesitate to call 911, stay with the person at all times, and place them on their side. If you know anyone who suffers from alcoholism, reach out to one of these campus resources.
Baseball season is back in full force. Focal Point's Asia Lawrence is live at Jackson Field in downtown Lansing with a story that's sure to be a grand slam. Asia?
It's officially opening day for the Lansing Lugnuts, and unfortunately, this game has been postponed. Fans are making their way out of Jackson Field, but they are still excited for what's to come this season with many new additions to the team.
It might be a little chilly and a little wet.
We've all been looking forward to opening day so much, and it's finally here.
But this is the beginning of summer.
Having a full stadium and going back like pedal to the metal for sure.
The Lansing Lugnuts open their regular season tonight.
But it's just good to have Lugnuts baseball back.
This season will look different. For fans, the baseball experience will finally seem normal.
Yeah, it gets us going again.
And another change. The Lugnuts now report to the Oakland A's instead of the Blue Jays.
But the Blue Jays left to go to Vancouver. That meant that we were open. Who sat down in our chair? The Oakland Athletics said we would like to be in Lansing, Michigan.
In previous years, there were about 8 minor league affiliates per major league team. Now, that number is 4.
It was a huge reorganization across minor league baseball.
It's been a long 2 years in a pandemic. Now, the team finally hopes Jackson Stadium can get back to normal.
It's that approaching the normalcy that we had before.
And that might mean a player picking up a baseball and handing it to a fan with his autograph.
Players might directly disobey if they see a cute fan. Absolutely. For that 8-year-old, sure, I'll sign you an autograph.
Rain or shine, the Lansing Lugnuts are excited about getting their season underway.
It can rain and rain and rain like it did on Wednesday, and then the field will still be ready for baseball if by the time first pitch comes, the sun is shining.
It's damp and cold for the opener tonight, but a lot of warm hearts will be once again filling this stadium.
Just that community kind of unity, everybody comes together, Lansing proud.
All the new stuff that I can showcase here, the nuts and bolts that we've never offered our fans before. So that's what's really gets me excited.
For Lansing to be able to say, we've got this, and for the Lugnuts to be able to say, we've got a home like Lansing, Michigan.
Lugnuts officials say a doubleheader will be played tomorrow with the gates opening at 4 p.m. and they will also keep all of their social media pages updated with updates. I'm live at Jackson Field. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Asia. I hope the Lugnuts gave her an umbrella with all this cold rain.
I'm so happy we're here dry in the studio, Bria. Elena Rabin is live with the weather this week. Elena, can we expect any rain this week?
Well, everyone, we are starting off with some beautiful weather, especially in the Northwest. 40s and 50s in the Seattle and Portland area with mostly sun. For those in the Los Angeles and Phoenix area, grab some sun and tan lotion. It's going to be sunny and hot with a whopping 90 degrees in LA and 88 in Phoenix. On the other hand, the Midwest is looking rainy and chilly with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Let's take a closer look at that regional map. It's looking like it's going to be 30s and 40s across the board here in the Midwest. The lowest temperature we're seeing is 31 in Duluth and the highest being 48 in Pittsburgh. Taking an even closer look here in East Lansing, don't get too excited. We're still seeing those April showers and some clouds all throughout the week, with the high this week being 65 Monday and Wednesday, and the low will be 60 or 40 on Grand Rapids. The weekend looks rough on Saturday with a high of 40, but we'll be sure to see some clouds and it'll warm up to 56 on Sunday when there will be some sun in there as well. Looking at the 7-day forecast, Friday we're getting some rain, low in 30s tonight, but we are going to get some warmer temperatures moving into the week. 65 on Monday, 63 Tuesday, low of 55, so we can expect some warmer weather. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for spring. I hope you guys are too. That's all for weather. I'm Elena Rabin. Back to you at the desk.
Everyone starts somewhere, and for people like us, that place is MSU. Our alumni base is vast, with around 600,000 spread across the globe. Our school's big name in media came back to their roots today to help us saplings grow. Current students had the opportunity to network with the distinguished Spartans who sat in our seats not too long ago. Overall, the alum inspired and encouraged their audiences to take chances and experiment.
Understand and don't get offended by being critiqued. Learn from things like that. Understand that someone is giving you feedback. Take that feedback, internalize it, and don't be offended by it.
Once you bleed green, you always bleed green. Thanks to our alumni for sharing their experiences with us.
MSU should be a sanctuary school. Some students rallied for that change this afternoon. It's called a Sanctuary Campus Campaign. By Dream MSU, they held the rally. It was inspired by the Sanctuary City movement. It refers to any colleges or universities that can implement policies and guidelines to protect students and faculty who are undocumented immigrants.
It's our duty, I feel, to make sure that we're welcoming and accepting of people from all backgrounds, regardless of citizenship status.
If you want to help MSU Dream in their efforts to make MSU a sanctuary school, you can find more information on their Instagram at DreamMSU. Spartan Stadium is home to the Michigan State football team, and now another family is calling it home too. A pair of peregrine falcons have been hanging around Spartan Stadium for about 5 years, and since they're in an urban area, the MSU Fisheries and Wildlife Club are helping the state endangered birds. The club raised money to build a nesting box, buy a security camera, and create a live stream atop of Spartan Stadium. Club President Molly Ingram is grateful for all the help she received and is excited to watch them grow.
And they just started laying eggs about a week ago, and now we're up to 4 eggs, which is typically the maximum. So we're just waiting for them to hatch, which will be sometime around the end of, or the beginning of May.
You can watch the 24/7 live stream on the MSU Fisheries and Wildlife Club's YouTube channel.
The MSU Jewish community is celebrating tonight's start of the Sabbath in a big way with the annual Mega Shabbat dinner inside Spartan Stadium. Focal Point's Brian Goldsmith shows what it took to get the kitchen ready for 250 Spartans.
Every Friday, Jewish people around the world celebrate the day of rest, Shabbat. But today's Shabbat on the MSU campus will be bigger than a normal Friday night. It will be mega. Spartan Stadium is where MSU Chabad, a family-run student group, is bringing back Mega Shabbat for the first time since 2019.
Great experience being able to be in a communal place with so many other Jews.
Making a kitchen ready to serve Jewish foods. And it's boiling hot too. They are making a kosher kitchen to make sure dairy and meat do not mix, which is forbidden.
So, being that throughout the year the kitchen was used for cooking non-kosher foods, in order to now use the kitchen to cook kosher, it has to go through an extra set of cleansing process. Obviously,
dinner consists of juicy foods, like homemade brisket, with family and fellow Jews, plus a taste of the homeland, bringing the Western Wall 6,000 miles closer to East Lansing. It means the world to these Spartans after the recent terror attacks unfolding in Israel and the war affecting many Jewish people in Ukraine.
I know that being so far away from the action is sometimes hard to imagine what they're going through, the pain, the suffering.
Thanks, Brian, for that report. The event continues tonight until 10 p.m.
The Sound of Music will soon fill the previously silent MSU Alumni Chapel. Michigan State University is finally unveiling the $1 million custom-made pipe organ in the restored MSU Alumni Chapel. The pandemic delayed the debut of the Red Cedar organ. It contains more than 2,000 pipes and was custom-built in Quebec. This Sunday, guest artist Isabel Demers will perform.
Have it all finally come together and for the public to hear it. We have a world-class organist who's coming here to play it, and it's really exciting.
To find more information about recitals being held in the MSU Alumni Memorial Chapel, you can visit music.msu.edu.
Too bad the organ isn't opening this Sunday, and if it were up to me, I'd nominate whoever can play those pipes for a Grammy. But the Grammys took place last Sunday, so maybe next year. Lance Limbo has all you need to know about what happened at this year's show. Lance?
Will Smith accepts and respects the Academy's decision to ban him for 10 years from Academy events, including the Oscars. The ban follows the infamous slap during the 94th Oscars after a joke from host Chris Rock about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Hopefully, that's the last we'll hear of that. This week, it's all about the tunes. With the 64th annual Grammys airing last weekend, we've got lots to cover.
Led by Grand Rapids native Anthony Kiedis, are going almost 40 years strong. The group claimed their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and celebrated their achievement by dropping their album Unlimited Love last Friday.
So friendship is forever, but relationships might not work out. Once again, Olivia Rodrigo has proved that breakups are the best inspiration for songwriting. Rodrigo has taken not only the internet, but the world by storm. The singer took home 3 Grammys for Best New Artist, Pop Vocal Album, and Pop Solo Performance. And the Foo Fighters have been busy, sweeping the rock category, winning Best Rock Performance, Rock Song, and Rock Album with their 2021 album, Medicine at Midnight. The band recently released a comedy horror movie based on the creation of Medicine at Midnight called Studio 666.
The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
The movie plot focuses on the Foo Fighters who move into an Encino mansion to work on their latest album. They finish and release the haunted recordings of the fictional rock band Dream Widow. Chaos ensues, and the album and the band's lives are put at risk. Following the film, Foo Fighters frontman David Grohl announced their first metal album under the Dream Widow name. All of this coming amidst the tragic loss of their drummer, Taylor Hawkins. Rock icons flocked to social media to honor Hawkins, remembering his influence on the genre. So now that you got the inside scoop on your music, you can create your playlist for your summer and jam out while you study for finals.
Coming up on Focal Point, a local business owner is doing his part in lowering the carbon footprint and operating his business on foot, one pedal at a time.
And we will have an update on the student who's making MSU history at the Masters this weekend. Sports is next.
If you're leaving a party, getting back from class late, or just need a ride, ASMSU offers a complimentary ride-share service for students. Students can download the Transloc app from the App Store. Select MSU as your transit system. All passengers are required to wear a mask. During service hours, click the blue button to request a ride. Ride requests can only be made to on- or off-campus housing. Please do not request a ride if you are feeling unwell or have been exposed to COVID-19 in the past 10 days. University Safe Ride programs are proven to reduce assault-related dangers and drunk driving. For more information, visit asmsu.msu.edu.
Welcome back to Focal Point. I'm Nathan Stearns with the latest in sports. James Piot teed off at the Masters on Thursday with reigning champ Hideki Matsuyama and Justin Thomas. Piot struggled throughout the day, posting an opening round 9 over for a total score of 81. After round 1, Piot was tied for 85th.
the annual finished and all the girls were out of here, and it was just me and my caddy. I was it, nobody else, no members around the course. It was the craziest thing in the world. And having Augusta National to yourself, it's for a college guy, you really appreciate it.
Piot was even through 7 holes today, keeping the tournament score at +9. He will not make the cut for the weekend. Over to basketball, the former associate head coach Dwayne Stevens was introduced on Thursday as Western Michigan's next head coach. Stevens spent 19 years on the MSU staff, coaching in 6 Final Fours, and was a part of 6 Big Ten regular season championships under head coach Tom Izzo.
Every single practice is going to be in every single meeting, is going to be in every single film session, and it's going to be there when we go out on the recruiting trails. So I hope that I'm not different. I really don't. I want to have the same success that he's had at Michigan State.
Izzo will now be looking to fill the associate head coach position in the coming months. Last week, Michigan State held the 2022 Spartan Invitational for track and field. The Spartans won 11 titles on the day. On the first day, Sophia Franklin was the top pole vaulter at the event for the women, clearing 4.32 meters. On the men's side, Michael Davenport placed second on the vault with a personal record of 4.76 meters. The second day, the team started off with 2 wins when the men and women won the 4x100 relays. The men recorded 41.77 seconds, and the women posted 46.22 seconds. The Spartans will be sending 2 athletes this weekend to compete in the Gym Click Shootout in Arizona and 1 athlete to the Hurricane Alumni Invitational in Florida. The gymnastics team's historic season came to an end last Saturday in the second round of the NCAA championships. The team put up a school record score of 197.625, but finished in third place behind number 4 Utah and number 5 Alabama. Skylar Schulte finished the meet with the top all-around score of 39.6. Head coach Mike Rowe was voted the Women's Collegiate Gymnastics Association Region 4 Coach of the Year, with assistant coaches Nicole Jones and Whitney Snowden receiving Coach of the Year honors as well. Over to the mound, the baseball team played the Lansing Lugnuts in the Crosstown Showdown on Wednesday. MSU opened the scoring in the second inning when Peter Ahn hit a solo home run. Ahn finished the game going 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, but MSU lost 3-2. The Spartans will be back in action in a 3-game series this weekend against Ohio State. The softball team faced Oakland in Michigan earlier this week. On Tuesday against Oakland, they lost 10-5, but third baseman Alexis Barroso went 3 for 4 with 1 RBI. Against Michigan, they suffered a 6-1 loss. Zaquai Dumas scored the lone run for MSU with a solo home run in the second inning. The team will be playing a 3-game series at home against Nebraska this weekend. That's what's happening this week in sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Little by little, we sing a bit of normalcy. Now that includes graduation for MSU. Focal Point's Deborah Marshall has the story about the return to in-person graduation.
After 2 years of graduating in a not-so-personal way, the personal route has returned. Meet Sean Holland. He's one student among many who will be graduating this May.
It's been a long journey. It hasn't been an easy one, but it's had so many, triumphs. I've had some failures, but we've learned from all of the situations.
Even though getting a college degree during the pandemic wasn't the easiest thing to face, he'll not only be able to celebrate that accomplishment, but now he can do it face to face.
In person, you can. Fist bumps and handshakes and hugs and all of that. So that's going to be great.
But the way College of Music does commencement is a little different than your average ceremony.
Sean is actually going to be part of one of the special music presentations.
Yeah, so I'm honored that they would ask me and choose me to be a part of these performances.
Students like Sean, who are a part of the Music College, get the chance to perform one last time before saying their goodbyes at the Wharton Center in just a few weeks.
But not everyone had the privilege of graduating inside of a building. Some had their graduation right here in this very parking lot.
For my graduation, it was outside, and there were multiple graduations outside in the area.
Anna Johnson, a recent graduate from Michigan State, was one of the students who graduated in the parking lot of the Spartan Stadium last spring.
As a kid, I always looked for my family whenever I did something school related. And so that was definitely one thing that I missed just being able to kind of like turn around and see them right there.
She shared it wasn't what she ever pictured her graduation to look like, but Sean says,
you accomplished your goal. You came to do what you set out to do. And I think that's the most important part.
oh, and one last thing for you graduates this May.
So congratulations. Definitely take it in because it's been a while since anyone has been able to do this. So it's almost kind of like a new MSU milestone.
Yes, one new milestone, one note at a time. I'm Deborah Marshall reporting, Focal Point News.
Spring commencement will take place May 6th through May 8th. For more information, you can go to commencement.msu.edu.
With food delivery services like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and more in the Lansing area, one local bicyclist is taking delivery into his own hands to lower his carbon footprint. Elena Cugino delivers us this story about Red Bike Delivery in our Friday Focal Point finale.
At the Capitol, on a main road, or even at your front door, you may have seen Jeremy Hurt zooming around Lansing, Michigan.
Just over a year ago was my first delivery.
He's the owner of Red Bike Delivery, a business he started during the pandemic.
It's taken a couple turns with, the pandemic and everything and trying to figure out how I could best be utilized in the community.
And he says seeing a familiar face
Thank you very much.
is what sets him apart from other delivery services.
It's not just some random car showing up in your driveway. Like, you know who's coming, and you get to know them, and they're your neighbors and the people that live with you in your community.
Hurt's bike is not like the bikes behind me. His is electric. And he says with the increase in deliveries, he might add another bike and another worker to his garage.
I'm hopefully getting close to needing some help, which is kind of scary and exciting, but yeah, right now it's just me.
And with that extra worker, Hurt said he could focus on the reasons he started the company.
I'm green, so I'm helping to reduce the carbon footprint. And not only are you supporting one local business, but ordering from the local restaurants, you're supporting two at the same time.
That mission is not lost on one of his customers, Yerda Westfall, who owns a shop in Lansing's new micro market.
He's delivered the food for me a couple times and fast and efficient on that end as well.
And with efficiency, she says Hurt also brings lots of cheer.
Always look forward to seeing Jeremy on his bike and wave hello.
And how could she not, when Hurt is delivering hot food to hungry people?
It's still hot and I'm ready to eat.
In Lansing, Elena Cugino, Focal Point News.
This month, Hurt said he is donating 50 cents for every mile he bikes to Ellie's Place. They focus on grief counseling for children that experience loss and more. Well, it's good for him because if I was doing all that biking, I'd be hungry, Nyla. Thanks for joining us this Friday evening for the final newscast of the semester. For me, it's the final show of the semester, and I can't wait until graduation. I'm Bria Crawford.
And I'm Nyla Hollins. Kudos to all of you Spartans graduating this spring semester. From all of us here at Focal Point, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.